All right, let's dive in. We're heading into a world that's all about survival, inequality, and ultimately, sacrifice. Our story kicks off on what is, without a doubt, the single worst day of the year in the poorest corner of a nation they call Panem. You know, this one quote from our main character, it just says it all, doesn't it? It paints such a bleak picture. They've got this fence that's supposed to protect them, but really, it just pens them in with hunger. And once a year, that constant, quiet threat of starvation, it gets very, very loud. That day is called the reaping. So let's talk about life in District 12, specifically on the morning of the reaping. And yeah, you heard that right. The reaping is this twisted annual lottery. Two kids picked a fight to the death, all broadcast on live television. But for the young woman at the center of our story, today starts like any other day, with a hunt to stay alive. Okay, so let's meet her. This is Katniss Everdeen. She's 16, and she lives in the absolute poorest part of District 12, a coal mining slum they call the Seam. Ever since her dad died, she's been the one holding her family together, the provider. And that means every single day, she's breaking the law, sneaking into the woods with her best friend, Gale, to hunt. All of it just to put food on the table for her mom and her little sister, Prim. And you've got to understand what those woods mean to her. They're not just a place to find food, they're the only place she can breathe, the only place she's truly herself, truly free. It's a place of survival, of life. But today, even the woods feel different. It's just a brief escape because she knows exactly what's waiting for her back in the district square, a ceremony of death. So you might be thinking, this is just a cruel lottery, a terrible game of chance. But here's the thing. It's not chance. Not at all. The Capitol's cruel lottery is completely, and I mean brilliantly, rigged to hit the poor the hardest. And how do they rig it? Well, it all comes down to one word, tesserae. Here's how it works. If you're a kid and your family is starving, which most are, you can get a year's supply of grain and oil for one person. The price? You have to put your name into the reaping lottery an extra time. So the very act of trying to survive means you're increasing your odds of being sent to your death. It's just unbelievably cruel. And the difference this makes is just staggering. Let's look at the numbers. You have Match, the mayor's daughter. She's never missed a meal in her life. Her name is in that reaping bowl the minimum 5 times. Now compare that to Gale. He's 18. He's been taking out tesserae for his family for years. His name? It's in there 42 times. See what I mean? The game is rigged from the start. The kids from the Seam are always the ones most likely to be picked. So what about Katniss? Well, she's 16. She's been taking out tesserae for her mom and Prim for years, so her name is floating around in that giant glass bowl 20 times. 20! This isn't some abstract threat for her. It is very, very real. All right, so the moment arrives. The reaping begins. Picture this. The entire district, thousands of people, forced to gather in the town square. It's dead silent. Everyone's just waiting. And of course, the cameras are everywhere, broadcasting this whole spectacle of fear to the rest of the nation. It's not just a lottery. It's a message. It's entertainment designed to remind everyone who's in control. And then she steps up to the podium. Effie Trinket, the official escort from the Capitol. And she is just a shock to the system. With her crazy pink hair and this garish, bright green suit, she looks like she's from another planet compared to the sea of gray, exhausted faces in the crowd. She's the living, breathing symbol of the Capitol's cluelessness, their total, cheerful disconnect from the horror show they're orchestrating. And with this bright, bubbly voice, she chirps, "Ladies first," like it's some fun game show. The whole district just holds its breath as she walks over to that giant glass ball filled with names, plunges her hand in, and pulls out one tiny folded slip of paper. She unfolds it, and the name she reads out, it's the worst possible one. It's the one person Katniss has dedicated her entire life to protecting. It's her little sister, Primrose Everdeen. Just think about that. Prim is only 12. This was her very first reaping. Her name was in there once, just one time. The odds were so tiny. But it didn't matter. And in that second, something snaps. Before anyone can even process it, Katniss is screaming, "I volunteer! I volunteer as tribute!" This is it. This is the moment the whole story pivots on. You have to understand, in District 12, being a tribute isn't an honor. It's a death sentence. Nobody has volunteered for this in decades. Nobody. And the crowd's reaction, This is what gives you chills. They don't clap. The Capitol expects applause, but they get silence. And then, one by one, the people of District 12 raise 3 fingers to their lips and hold them out. It's this beautiful, solemn gesture. It's their way of saying thank you, of showing admiration, of saying goodbye to someone they love. It's the most powerful and safest way they can rebel.
So, Katniss's fate is sealed, but the reaping's not over. There's still the male tribute to choose. And who they pick next? Well, it's going to throw a massive wrench into an already impossible situation for Katniss.
Effie Trinket goes to the other glass ball and pulls out a name, Peeta Mellark, the baker's son. And for Katniss, hearing that name is like a punch to the gut. This isn't just some random guy from her district. He's connected to a memory she can never, ever forget. A memory of a time he literally saved her life. We have to go back in time for a second. Katniss was 11, her dad was dead, her mom had just shut down. She and Prim were literally starving. And one night, she's huddled behind the bakery in the freezing rain, and she sees the baker's wife yelling at her son, Peeta, for burning 2 loaves of bread. She actually hits him, and then she tells him to go throw the burnt bread to the pigs. But he doesn't. He sees Katniss there, starving, and he throws the bread to her. That bread, it was more than just food. It was hope. It was the spark that gave her the strength to get up and start fighting for her family. So in a very real way, she owes him everything. He's the boy with the bread. And now she has to go into an arena and kill him. How do you even begin to deal with that? And just like that, it's over. The tributes are chosen. There's barely any time for goodbyes before Katniss and Peeta are whisked away. Their journey to the Capitol, and most likely to their deaths, has begun. The goodbyes are a total blur. So painful, so quick. She has to look her little sister in the eye and promise her, I will try to win. Madge, the mayor's daughter, rushes in and gives her a pin, a golden mockingjay, as a token. And Gale, her best friend, gives her the only advice he can, a grim reminder. You know how to kill. And then they're on the train, and it's like stepping into another dimension. Hot water, velvet couches, an endless feast of incredible food. It's more luxury than Katniss has seen in her entire life combined. And you realize this isn't just the Capitol being generous, it's a psychological game. It's their way of showing these kids from the districts everything they're fighting for and everything they'll never be allowed to have. So, on this insane luxury train, they finally meet their mentor, Haymitch Abernathy. Now, he's the only person from District 12 to ever win the Hunger Games, so in theory, he's their guide, their lifeline to sponsors, to survival. The reality? He's a drunk. Not just a little drunk, he's completely belligerent and can barely even stand up straight. Effie is trying so hard to keep up appearances, telling them he can well be the difference between your life and your death, stressing how important he is. And right as she says it, Haymitch stumbles in, throws up all over the fancy rug, and just faceplants. So, there goes their lifeline. And that's where we leave them, hurtling towards the Capitol. It all brings us back to this one huge question. Katniss made a promise to Prim that she would try to win. But what does winning even mean in this scenario? It means killing 23 other children. It means killing Peeta, the boy who gave her hope when she had none. So in a game where the cost of survival is your own humanity, what does it really mean to win?